here, y'all. Just a little late, but you know how we do. A lot of these shows be coming in when they feel like it. So I'm trying to be like them. Well, of course, tonight we're live. We got Who's Back the Tea. We got the living room. It's time to get it going. So let's go. I'm a filmmaker. I've worked in film, video, and television for over 30 years. I took a little break, but now I'm back. Welcome to another edition of Art Imitates Life with me, Tanya Dixon. Having a good time on a Friday night. I said just kind of chill out and have fun with this thing because, we got out of practice for a little, at least I did, for a moment there. And I said, I got to get back in the groove of things. This year, September 19th of this year marked 30 years for me in television. So I said, girl, this is what you do. Stop tripping and get on back in there and do your thing. So here we are. So another night here on the show. Who's Back the Tea? I got a lot of different stories. The team's going to come in a few moments. We're going to talk about it. And of course, in the living room tonight, friends. How many of us have them? Okay. That's going to be interesting because we're going to talk about the different levels of friendship. We're going to just talk about friendship overall. I'm very curious what people think about this because I've seen some really funny definitions of friendship over my years. And so you out there, if you feel the same, just kind of hit us in the chat, participate with us tonight, have some fun with us tonight because we're going to be here. Show's going to be shorter now. It's just going to be like maybe a couple hours or something like that. So just get on in, mix it up with us, and jump on off when we do. Okay. But in the meantime, you know how we do with our sponsors. We're going to take a word from the sponsor, and we'll be back to get off with the team in just a few moments. Art Imitates Live with Tanya Dixon is being sponsored by Tandiland Global, bringing your multimedia dreams to life. Hey, welcome back. These days everything is a little bit different on is my mic muted or am I in? Okay, I'm hoping everybody can hear me, but they have a little bit difference in the way that handles things with Facebook. And so I think we're live on Facebook now. It's just a little bit different. So anybody see anything different that you don't understand, let us know. But I'm about to bring the team in now. So, all right, y'all, come on in and talk. How y'all doing here on this Friday night? How y'all doing?
We good. I'm good. At least I can speak for myself. But yeah.
Cool.
I'm all right. I'm okay. I'll work it out. I'm all right.
Oh, yes. We'll talk about what's ailing you in a little bit because I do understand you're in mourning. That's the word. I couldn't find the word for a moment. In the morning, and I totally understand. Mr. Mindright, he look like he's doing some homework, doesn't he?
Yeah. I think he's frozen too.
He's moving.
He's frozen.
He muted.
No, he moved his eyes, so he's not frozen.
Okay.
He's muted. I can't hear him.
Okay. There he is. Hey, Mike.
What's up?
He's trying to get his mind right. That's all.
Yeah, man. What's going on?
You look just now, you really did look like you were muted, but then you like you were doing some homework. I said, he's doing something. But welcome, y'all. You know, we're going to get into this now. Yeah, welcome y'all to the show. You know, and we'll get into this now. We're going to go ahead and start off with the topics and everything with Who Spiked the Tea. And in the mix of things, we mix it up and y'all can talk a little bit more about what's going on with you, how you feeling, the whole nine, because I'm sure some story that I'm going to come across is going to be like something that y'all want to hear or know or has just related to your life or something. And I'm just looking at my stories. I think I got them to where, I think I got them to where we're going to go from here. There's just a lot of things that tonight, and sometimes you never know what's the most interesting things you want to talk about on the show. But here we go. Here's Who Spikes Tea. Let's go, y'all.
We back.
All right, Margo. You know when people say things at the same time, do you like say you pinch people, or do you say you're gonna live a long time?
Yeah, we do that. That pinch Coke. Oh yeah, Coke. Very
My sister used to drive me. I think it must be closing the garage or something.
Or building something.
Yeah, that was a real garage sale. But my sister used to drive me crazy because her pinches would be hard. And she would always pinch me when we would say something at the same time. I'm like, girl.
Yeah, it seems like she be twisting them too.
Yes. Yes, I think that's what she was doing and what made it feel so bad. Okie dokie, y'all. Okay, let's see where I want to go with this tonight, where I want to start off. Okay. This is something that is really interesting, and Michael this talks about comedians on this one here. Some of you may have heard here at Atlanta Airport, probably doing it at many airports. Are they doing a drug search program? So there's some comedians that are suing over a drug search program at the Atlanta airport. It's comedians Eric Andre and Clayton English. They're challenging the police program at the Atlanta airport, saying that violates the constitutional rights of airline passengers, particularly Black passengers, through racial profiling and coercive searches, just as they're about to board their flights. And they're saying that the lawyers for these two men filed a lawsuit on Tuesday in the federal court in Atlanta, alleging that they were racially profiled and illegally stopped by Clayton County Police at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta Airport, International Airport. I'm sorry. Keep forgetting it's all international because you can go in and out of here now. You know, they say it's the busiest airport in the world, and yes, I believe so. And so the two men, well-known comedians and actors, say officers singled them out during separate stops, roughly 6 months apart, because they are Black, and grilled them about the drugs as other passengers were watching. And he said, people were gawking at me, and I looked suspicious when I had done nothing wrong. This is what Andre said in an interview, calling the experience dehumanizing and demoralizing. While the stated purpose of the program is to fight drug trafficking, the lawsuit says drugs are rarely found. Criminal charges seldom result, and seized cash provides a financial windfall for the police department. Okay. And the Clayton County police officers and investigators from the county district attorney's office selectively stop passengers in the narrow jet bridges used used to access the planes, and the same, and that the officers take the passengers' boarding passes and identification and interrogate them. So, what do y'all think about the whole thing?
It's just another additional step or thing to that interview. My bad. There we go. Sorry, that was my phone. For some reason, it be tripping. But just another extra obstacle course to go through before you get upon your site.
Hold on one second. Let me change.
Okay.
Let me change. Okay, now what you saying, Michael? Margo? Okay, now what you saying, Margo? Sorry, I had to turn off my mic. Sorry.
Yeah, please turn it off.
It's all right, folks.
I be having all kinds of technical stuff. Okay, carry on.
No, just an additional hurdle or obstacle course to go through. Something else that slows you down, but also makes you think, because it's like, see how many people are pinpointed out to do this or to go through this, or it needs to be to where everybody's done once they come through there, making people get to the airport even earlier because they're going to get searched. You know, and stuff like that, not just certain people. Because I remember myself getting pulled to the side and I had to get searched just because I guess the lady felt like either what I had on or I had too much, junk in my trunk and it looked suspicious. My sister made fun of me on that trip. It was just like, I guess she felt like you might have had some stashed somewhere because it was, abnormal. So, it does make you feel awkward, kind of violated in a small way. Everybody else's eyes put on you to see what they doing over there.
I would have been clowning. I'd be like, "Ooh, baby, don't that feel so good? Ooh, baby."
But for some people,
your face on my face.
Yeah, I wasn't too much bothered, but to get a little hand swipe across you and all kind of stuff, like, hey, watch that.
Yeah, I can understand. I was in Pensacola, Florida, and I was flying back, and this was some time ago, probably about 2001 before. Matter of fact, it was after 9/11. So yeah, they stopped me in Pensacola, Florida, as I was boarding. Now this is what bothered me. Mm-hmm. They took my bag and wanted to search it, but were not searching any other people in their bags. Now, had I seen other people being searched, I wouldn't have had a problem. Mm-hmm. But I was the only one. And I was hot. Oh. It was, some Barney Fife looking dude. And I was looking at him like, really? And I was like, I'm the only one. And I said, how did you choose me? He said, oh, it's just random. And I said, you didn't randomly choose anybody else? And so I was just, what, Veronica?
Yeah, and I think the day that mine happened, they did somebody people after me. So it wasn't it was random, but they did other people after me. So I didn't feel like I was the only one, because like two other people after me had got searched. And it was different races, so it wasn't just pinpointed.
Well, it was just me. I was really offended because it was just me.
No.
I don't do nothing at all.
But like I can tell you, just from my my experience, working law enforcement, a lot of those measures are done as a deterrent, and sometimes it is random. Sometimes it's people doing whatever. Now you got to look at in the airport, especially Atlanta, all them laws ain't white,
right?
See what I'm saying? So all them laws ain't white. Now if you got stopped by a white law, then you saying, okay, then with the same law that they got you 6 months ago or 6 weeks ago or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? Then it could be the person's targeting you because they know who you are, they watch your videos and your Instagram and they see you smoking up, so they like, oh, this motherfucker known for weed. So a lot of people don't even be thinking about that. When you're on social media, puffing and chiefing and doing all that and shit like
Way
that.
too much.
Now, a violation of rights is a violation of rights, motherfucker. You ain't got no right to search me. But the moment you walk through that threshold at that goddamn airport, you good until you go through that TSA.
Mm-hmm.
TSA, that's offline. At 9/11 changed all that shit. Now, that's on one side of it. That's just me coming from the, because I had a foot on both sides of the law. Right. Now, on the other side, you like, hey, man, stop fucking with me. I ain't did shit. I ain't did whatever. Now, they got dogs that run through there. Dogs hit on your bag. Bring your ass to the bag, player. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got nothing to say. Motherfuckers smoke weed before they get to the airport. They smell like a pound of weed. Mm-hmm. You come through that bitch smelling like weed. Hey, motherfucker, you smell like weed. Bring your ass on over here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like
I totally get it.
Certain locations, not saying that you giving up your rights, but I mean, you talk about TSA, Transportation Security Agency, whatever. They got to make sure everybody's safe.
Right.
But I guess I was the only crooked looking person because I was looking before me. I was looking after me. It won't nobody else but me. I said, I must be the crooked one up in here.
Was you nervous, sweating, going through there?
I don't know if TSA operate the same way that some other security agencies do, but they'll tell you, hey, between the hours of 9 and 10, every 6th person you need to stop and check them. You see what I'm saying?
I kept looking after I, got through. I still had to wait in line, and I kept waiting for them to pull somebody else. Waiting for them, and never pulled anybody else. So I guess that's what made me offended. Is like there was never nobody else.
So they do have ratios and shit established. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's just from my prior knowledge. It could be the fact that they fucking with people for nothing. It could very well could be that, but that's what the lawyers gonna, find out.
Right. And that's something where being that it's a program, and I do understand the drug trafficking, cracking down on all that. This is an international airport here. They really had a big problem with child and drug trafficking out of Atlanta. And so I can totally understand it, but I do understand the other side of it too. I would have to see the situation for myself to see if those same feelings that I had in Pensacola come back to me the way that
Another thing is this. I know out west, because when I was stationed in Tucson driving back to Texas, you had to hit them border patrol checkpoints. Yeah. And they don't play no games. You know what I mean?
You know what's so funny about Border Patrol? I would ride the bus because my father used to drive for Greyhound, so I could ride free, over the nation. So I would ride across the country. And so when we get through Texas and start getting Texas and into New Mexico and Arizona, all that Border Patrol comes over there. But you know what's so funny? They look at me and keep walking. They would not even look at me because I guess they say she's black. And I thought it was kind of strange. I was like, well, I could be still smuggling something. I won't say nothing.
I mean, but it's and that's just the change with time. I'm not saying that there's a lot of shit that ain't right. You know what I mean? And then, and if you get violated, hopefully you can win that lawsuit or that settlement or whatever the hell you're gonna do to them. But I mean, when you talking about security, if it was the laws out on the street, I could see, profiling or fucking with you just cause. But you in the airport, man, all kind, you talking about people coming there with knives, guns, bombs, all that shit. You know what I mean? So, but them people got regulations they need to abide by too. So that's why you don't argue, you don't fuss or fight. Make your complaint, call your lawyer, be like, hey, this the 6th time this nigga, these people done did this to me. You know what I mean? I think something up. And then
you know what?
Then they go and investigate, and then they'll see, hey, this motherfucker got like 30 complaints on him for the same thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now that person's character comes into question. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that we might have been off for the show this week, but I never told you all about the case here. The Black woman, she went to Midtown, shot 2 men, got away from them, and got to the airport. And you know how I found out who she was and everything? I looked at Facebook because they rolled right up on her. I think it was SWAT rolled right up on her. There she was at Atlanta airport, or still had her guns on her, and she was about to board a plane. They rolled right up on her right there. And I just said to myself, yeah, that's true. Anybody could do anything. I mean, she had just committed two crimes. I mean, she killed both of those guys, shot a third one. I don't think he died. He was in the hospital. But she committed her crimes and ran onto that airport. She said, I'm out. You know, I guess whatever had happened with her, I think they were harassing her or threatening her to kill her or something, she said. But she did that and she got on there. But I saw it's funny looking at Facebook, seeing these SWAT agents with the girl. And I think by then they had her in handcuffs and all. And I remember saying, what's going on here? And I had heard it on the news, but I didn't know who I was looking at.
I think I remember that. I think I remember that.
And I was like, what's going on here? And then I found I put the two and two together and she was, I would say probably in her 30s, maybe. You know, she was young and did her thing and got on out of here. But she still had her guns and everything and went right to the airport with all that. So I said, okay.
She was trying to be brave, but I'm just like, why was you on Facebook? Unless somebody else was.
Somebody's
live. Okay.
Right, and because you know everything on Facebook.
I'm just like, that's not smart if she was doing that herself.
Like, everything goes up there. Because I was like, what is that? Because like when you see something like that on social media, you wonder if it's real. You look at it first like, oh, this is somebody putting like a movie clip or something. Oh no, it was real.
Yeah.
So I said, okay,
this
is what we're doing.
Really thought she was gonna get taking the guns with her.
Right.
Like,
oh, I don't think I would have had that part with me. That might be what I would have gotten rid of if I was going to do the crime. You know. But Michael, like, don't say another word.
That's the first thing you do. You get rid of the fucking murder weapon, like.
Right. Wait a minute. Somebody said in chat, free girls in U City. Well, first of all, learn how the language, free girls in your city, and get that crap off my chat. Let me go ahead and start deleting that. Yeah, I'm going to block you. I'm not even going to put you in timeout. I'm blocking you. There you go. All right. And learn how to do the language. It ain't you city. It would be your city. Thank you. But anyway.
And that was your English lesson for today.
Yeah, that's your English lesson.
Say yourself.
Your English quick immersion into English today.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, y'all, this next story is, you know, we all, you know how we often talk about how art imitates life, but really it was the name of the show, but life is also imitating art. So when I tell y'all this, tell me what you think it is. Tom Cruise reportedly in talks to shoot feature film in outer space. Let's go ahead.
Say that one more again. Say that one more again.
Tom Cruise is in talks to shoot a feature film in outer space. Now, what I'm saying to myself, I'm going to go ahead and read it to you, but I think, once again, these are things that are already done, already happening, and it's not a big deal because they do stuff all the time. Cruise is said to be speaking with Universal Films Entertainment Group about filming at the International Space Station, accomplishing a goal that has been years in the making. Yeah. While movies like the Cruise narrated documentary Space Station 3D and 2012's Apogee of Fear were filmed at the ISS, the actor aims to become the first civilian to perform a spacewalk. I think Tom Cruise is taking us to space. He's taking the world to space. This is what the UFEG chairman, Donna Langley, told BBC News. That's the plan. We have a great project in development with Tom taking the rocket up to the space station shooting. Now, why they want to pretend like all this stuff ain't already done? Why they want to pretend like this is like new off the map? Like,
Well,
this,
I guess because all of the movies about space, they didn't really do in space. And
maybe.
so they're actually taking everything up into outer space to shoot.
Okay, Scott, that's not
Like,
Tom Cruise. I mean, no.
I, I don't find nothing too new about it, really. Like,
See, I think they already, remember I was telling you all about how have we talked a little bit about the moon and stuff, right?
Yeah.
The disc,
actual
they're both discs. The sun is a disc, the moon is a disc, but there is the life on the moon. One side of it is, I think, say one side of it is the oh gosh, what's that? The individuals that came here, the beings that came here to this planet. I can't remember right this moment. I'll tell you a minute. And the other side, it looks like this planet. I hear a lot about that. And then there's been individuals here that have been trying to get off this planet for at least the last years here because they're getting in trouble, so they know how to escape, but they've been shooting them out of the air, not letting them go. So just the fact that activity goes on all the time, the beings are here all the time, that's when I see these things like this, and they act like, oh my God, this is new, when it's really not new. It's just they want to take the time to say, we're revealing this to you. This is big, but this is already happening, Y'all see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. Just to be, like you say, a lot of people just to be current, just to be in the news about something.
Yeah.
This is
Or he finally invested in SpaceX, and that's gonna help whoever owns SpaceX and that person that invested in it, and just say, hey, we're doing this, get people to follow, get people to do whatever.
Yeah, let's get ready to do more space travel, everybody.
Or
just
trying to validate shit, since everything is coming into question. Oh, they about to find out that we never went to the moon, or that space ain't even real. So let's make, let's say that we're going into space, and we'll do a SpaceX launch, and we'll do the ISS, and hey, this is based on true events or some shit. I don't know. Like, I mean, it's to the point now I don't believe shit on TV.
Because they know
it's all a movie. Like, it's all a movie now.
There's a lot of lies, a lot of it, because it's already happening. That's why I say art imitates life, or life imitating art. They're already doing so much stuff.
I was gonna say, but I'm being funny, but I'm being real too. Like, if y'all want to do a real movie, like a documentary or something that's gonna be, real live, do one following actually paying Black folks reparations.
Oh man, did you see that Atlanta audition yet? The show?
No.
You got to see it. Oh my Lord. It follows exactly what you're talking about. It was hilarious though.
That would be interesting, and I definitely would watch it and follow it if
you go and look at the season that they just shot. It talks about a lot of stuff, but there was the episode in there where there was a case where the white man and his company had to pay a large sum of money to a Black individual because of reparations in the history of slavery in the family.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my Lord, and how they had it at a company. All the white people were searching their family history to see if they had done any things, had slaves. if they had their family history had any dark side or owning slaves or anything, and they were off the chain. It was just like crazy. And how one of the guys, I'll just tell y'all this, I'll be done with it. One of the guys, he was married to a woman. He was one of the ones that's being sued, and you'll see the character that was suing him, but he was being sued. And his wife, she would always say that she was Caucasian. But then when everything happened and all the trouble started, she says, I'm Persian. He said, oh, you were white yesterday.
Oh. Oh. Like, how quickly we switched.
So it was funny just to watch Donald Glover bring all of that question that you have, Margo, to life. Mm-hmm. It basically, he brought the whole thing to life, and it was just hilarious the way that they played it out. Mm-hmm. To watch what would people do in those situations. It was funny on both sides of the fence what was going on. It wasn't just because of white folks, it was both sides.
I think it'll be funny as hell with all these people that know that being white has its privileges, and they say, oh, we finna pay black people reparations. If you got one drop of black folk blood, you black. You're gonna see all the white folks say they're black, boy. Well, my dad is 1/4, 1/3, you know what I mean? Like
all of them.
You know what I'm saying? You know how
now,
like
that's the movie that should be our episode that should be done.
You know how black people used to be like, I got Indian in my family. You're gonna be like,
yeah.
I got black folks in my family. You know what I mean? Like, yes. They gonna be like, remember how we say, see, this is my real color right here. They gonna try to turn it dark on their body. Oh, my real color right here on my elbow. You see there?
That's the real color right there.
That's very profound. I want to do a picture. Y'all made me laugh, and then let's see if we can do a picture for the social media. So
I got African in my family. Look, this is my real color right here.
Hey, oh man, strong then.
I'm so mad because my live over here is behind, so y'all are gonna have to just pause, and so I'm gonna do it right now in 3, 2, 1. But I get to catch it over here, So when I said now I get to do it, get to see it. If I can stop talking, there you go. That means it's working.
We know there that ain't gonna
happen. I know, right? I was quiet as a child for the first 15 years of my life.
Oh wow.
I was.
I'm just saying that's alone.
Yeah, I was so quiet until one day when I got in probably my 30s, and I was just yapping, and my mom looked at me and said, I should have made you talk as a child because I was just talking so much. But I did not talk. I didn't talk for the first 15 years of my life.
That's what was wrong with Renita.
Yes, Renita was doing all the talking.
No, she spoke up for you on your behalf on everything. She wanted this place. She said I could have her piece.
And she got me in trouble a lot too. So, all right, y'all.
Watch your mouth. Quit talking about my sister.
She did get me in trouble a lot, and she used to get mad when I call her out and say, you know what? I like when she graduated and went to the military. I told her, I said, you know what? I don't get in trouble no more. You ain't here. And she didn't like that, but it was true. I wasn't getting in trouble anymore, Renita was mischievous, boy. She could come up with some stuff, boy. Never a dull moment. But okay, y'all. Another thing happening here in ATL. Hey, buddy. I think he leaving me. He said we talking about some stuff he don't want to talk about. So he's leaving. So here in Atlanta, Cosby Show actor Joseph C. Phillips tapped to be a professor at Clark Atlanta University. Now you remember his role on the Cosby Show. He played Lisa Bonet's husband, on-screen husband. Remember?
Alvin? He's Alvin, or is it the darker dude?
No, that was the oldest.
Yeah,
Saunders.
The one that was in the Army, the Marines, or something like that.
Right, he was one in the military.
Oh,
And
okay.
so when Lisa, even when they kicked Lisa Bonet off the show, remember he was still recurring in and out.
Yeah.
So matter of fact, Raven Simone played his daughter.
Yeah.
So he is going to be here in Atlanta. Let's see what they say about this real quick. They say he has joined the Clark Atlanta University faculty as a theater and communication studies professor.
Oh, okay.
In the official statement, they said Joseph brings a wealth of awe-inspiring talent, meaningful engagement in the community, and a portfolio of informed, decisive commentary to the university. That's by Dr. George T. French Jr., that's Clark Atlanta's president. Okay, so he says, we anticipate that he will inspire independent thinking, civic responsibility, and a passion for interdisciplinary learning in our students, which aligns perfectly with our mantra to lift our community by lifting our voices. So congratulations to him,
Yes.
Dr. Phillips here in ATL.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. I'm moving on to the next one. Okay. Y'all know that we're talking about Anne Heche, the actress Anne Heche, dying some short time ago. And, some of us feel like it was foul play because of the video aiming down on the gurney. And she was tearing through the sheets and getting up, okay? And before they were putting her in the ambulance. We watched it all happening. What happened to Anne Heche? She was talking too much. She was about to do some things and rat some folks out. And being that she was Ellen DeGeneres' once upon a time girlfriend, Ellen won't having that because they were getting down to the crackdowns, and they were taking stock of who can rat them out, because a lot of people in Hollywood started ratting one another out. And even though it's quiet as it's kept, Hollywood is secretly being cleaned out. The battle of now this whole thing now is Anne Heche had $400,000 at the time of her death, and the judge rules that her son Homer can now oversee her estate. So there's been a battle to control her estate, and it gained some focus out there. And the judge ruled this Tuesday that her estate can be held by her son Homer Heche LaFoon, and he can now oversee it. The ruling comes less than a week after Homer filed legal documents obtained by ET, claiming that 6 days, 7 nights star had only $400,000 to her name at the time of her death. Those same docs state that Heche lived in an apartment and that she did not own any property. So the documents state that she was working on a book titled Call Me Anne, which is still on track to be released in early 2023. And then they also said back in September, the book's publisher and distributor, Viva Editions and Simon and Schuster, announced a 140-page memoir to be released in January 24th, 2023. In my mind, I'm just thinking she got a lot that she was about to bring out, and they were like, no, you're not. And they shut that down. I was trying to see if there's anything else in here that's really that interesting. Not that interesting for me right now, but that's going to be very interesting to see what comes of this whole book that she has coming out in the beginning of 2023. Will she actually put enough information in there to satisfy curiosity? All right, buddy, you okay?
I'll be right back, y'all. I'll be right.
Okay, good. All right, so I'm gonna move on real quick because we're gonna go to the living room in a really short amount of time here. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that I want to focus on before we get out of here. And I turn the channel, and my dog is just coughing up a storm. That's why I try to get him to stay and not start running up and down the steps. He doesn't understand He's 14. He think he's 4. You
Yeah.
know,
No.
and he want to run up and down like he's 4 years old. And I'm like, no, you are not 4. You know, we're gonna have to get down to that. But there's a couple more things here. First of all, I don't know if you all had heard Nene Leakes' 23-year-old son. He's only 23, and he has suffered a heart attack and a stroke.
Oh,
And
yeah. I've heard
yeah,
that about the heart attack. That is sad.
yeah,
It's like to be that young and what's bringing that upon you
mm-hmm,
so quickly. Like what's really going on with your health, or what
right,
are you doing that could be aiding to have brought that on so fast? Not saying
mm-hmm,
he's into any drugs or anything of that nature, but we don't
right,
know. Because 23, you would think it would be like just the start of your life, or a clean, full bill of health, because you haven't
right,
did much living yet.
mm-hmm.
But
That's right.
I
And it
don't
said that he has congestive heart failure and a stroke, and Nene was saying in her live that her son doesn't drink or do drugs, and the doctors have run a multitude of tests in order to determine the cause of the episode, including tests for HIV. Nene asked everyone to keep Brent in their prayers and says that he's still having a hard time speaking. And that's so hard, to
know.
have those type of things as a young person. Because I remember when my own father had a stroke, it was not easy for him to come back from it. He developed vocal, always still had a hard time remembering how to say certain things, or taking it from brain to mouth, so
Yeah.
I send prayers for Brent that he does not have the same complication, especially being so young at 23 years old. So
Yeah.
we wish him the very, very best on that. Wait a minute. Do I see Veronica coming back in? I'm gonna let her back in before I go to another story. Welcome back, Veronica. Here, Lizzo. The story here is about Lizzo, and I find this a little funny, and I especially will see what y'all think about this. Lizzo's mom said that the singer took her family to therapy to explain to them that she would be using profanity in her songs. So
Yeah.
Lizzo's mom told this the Vanity Fair that she raised her family in a religious home, and Lizzo prepared them for it, right? And she said that was not a surprise that Lizzo likes to wear scandalous outfits. Lizzo don't be wearing no outfit sometimes. She just be hanging out there, She just be out. And so her mom is Sherry Jefferson Johnson, and said that she raised them not to use curse words or anything like that. And so she said Lizzo said when she was planning to add some raunchy language to the music, Jefferson Johnson and Lizzo got the family together for the therapy session. I guess to prepare them all that all this was coming up in the songs, and now Lizzo's fans are no strangers to profound words in the music, including her hit "Good as Hell" and the popular line in another single, "Truth Hurts." I'm 100% that bitch, So what do y'all think about that? If you were in that situation and people knew you as not cursing, your family was that way, and you were about to be, on stage and not knowing that she would become the international sensation that she has, what would you do?
Is she grown?
Right. My thing, I wouldn't be paying for no therapy just to tell. Like, look, I don't know, but like, you like this is how it's gonna happen. You might not like it, but you ain't gotta listen to it. You can listen to somebody else, but I hope you support what I'm doing. But yeah, it's a cute idea, but yeah, we wouldn't need to have no.
I want to have no therapy. I'm not having no therapy, but then
We
when the
just would
song
have
come out and they make a lot of money,
Just would have had a barbecue.
Exactly. And when then that's that one song that they're talking about, make all that money. I don't see nobody holding their hand out talking, oh, can I have some? No. You don't like it? Why am I going to pay you? What am I pay you for?
Right.
You know, this same money you want that I made this money off that same song that you didn't like. So I mean,
exactly.
Why are you asking me for a handout? No.
Yeah, to me,
I bet you if next song come out, they won't say nothing.
Right, that's a lot right there. Going to therapy, for the family, that's a lot.
Right.
That's a whole lot. That's too much right there. So to me, I mean, to each his own. I'm not judging or anything like that, but I have to agree with Michael. I'm grown and I'm going on doing my career. I don't need to qualify all my actions with you like that.
Because whether I cuss or I don't cuss, you motherfuckers still got your hand out.
Right.
I'm still me. I'm still the same before you knew me through my music.
I tell you what, if you have a problem with me cussing, you're gonna have a problem with me. You're gonna have a problem with asking me for money.
Tell me, keep that same energy. Keep that same way of having a problem.
Well, you shouldn't want no money from me after this because you don't like cussing. And this came like what they say, I don't want your drug money. I don't want your cuss money.
You know
what I'm saying? I don't want your cussing money.
They steady doing this right here.
That's the devil.
Say it again, Mike.
That's the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
That filth coming out of your mouth. Nothing but filth. And I'm filthy rich, bitch.
You almost were Rick James tonight.
That's the devil's music.
You know what? I'm setting up the. Give me just a second. I am setting up the. You know what I'm saying? The post to put on Instagram and to put on, and I'm just tagging y'all real quickly here. So, but what would you do if you wanted to get out there and you're from a smaller town and people might know you from a certain way of life, and then all of a sudden you wanted to Lizzo it up on stage? What in the world would you do?
That was the old me. This is the new me. Welcome, y'all.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, you was talking to Veronica. You was talking to Veronica, my bad.
No, you said just right. This is the new me. Right. If you don't like it, oh well.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same breath, don't ask me for nothing.
I know that's right.
That's right. The same energy you had when I want nothing, don't come to me now. I'm sorry. I had to be like that. I used to have a good heart, but when y'all turn your back on me, I went the other way. Sorry.
But how would you, and I gotta ask this.
Did she freeze?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't hear you.
Can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah. Her thing dropped. The other.
Mm-hmm. Your twin.
Mm-hmm. Her twin dropped.
Okay, I had to go back to my regular mic because I see the other one went off. Let's see. Hold on a minute. Let's get it back in here.
Uh-oh. But I just know.
Okay. It took me a minute.
Yeah.
Because I can tell when it falls off. I'm like, I'm getting better. Okay. I was just saying, if you were to want to shake it fast, if you wanted to shake it fast on stage, that's what I'm saying. How would you all handle that if that wasn't the way that your family saw you?
Hey, things change, times change. It ain't the 50s and the 60s no more, or the 70s and the 60s or the 80s even now. Shit,
Well, Tanya, Tanya,
Yes.
you know our family.
Yeah.
So you already know the question to that one.
Yes. That's one of the
Okay.
reasons why I left it.
They will put a label
you
on you. They will put a label on you and toss your ass to the damn side. But you know what? I wouldn't give a rat's ass. All them Joiners and them Perrys could kiss all my entire ass.
all of it.
She said entire.
My whole entire ass.
Okay. That's where I was going, trying to figure out how
Y'all,
you feel about
our family is very funny. They very funny.
From cheek to cheek and crack in between.
And
Kiss my natural day.
all of it.
You know what I'm saying? Suck my asshole.
That too.
You went a little far with that joke now. That's
Right on down to the pit. I'm trying to tell you. Right on down to the colon. I don't care.
Y'all ain't too much.
Suck the lining out the booty hole. Chitlins. Human chitlins.
Some of our family members are very funny. And I'm quite sure that some probably watching and they probably say, "Oh, I can't believe that come out of Veronica's mouth." But it is what it is. Because they look at you, they talk about you now, they turn their nose up at you, and then like I said, they're gonna talk about you whether you're down or up. They don't even care anymore. But if you say something about them, it's a whole nother story. Oh, it ain't like that. No, you're lying.
Called you out on your shit. Now own it. All I ask you that you own it.
You're right.
Own it. On the count of three, I want everybody to say own it. 1, 2, 3.
Own it. Hey, them Tanya people, not mine. Them Tanya people.
Somebody feels some kind of way. Tell it like it is.
I'm in my feelings tonight, y'all. I'm sorry. I got a lot going on right now. I'm in my feelings tonight.
Get out your feelings. I used to tell Tanya that shit all the time.
Right.
Well, before
one of my favorite cousins passed away the other night.
Oh, okay.
And I just talked to her Saturday. She died Sunday night.
Oh,
yeah.
I just talked to her. We talk every day.
Well, celebration of life and not the death.
Oh yeah.
Happy
for the times you had on this earth, and happy for the times you still gonna have in that fifth dimension.
That's right. And that's why I want you to go ahead, because we're going into a few minutes. We're going into the living room. We're going to talk about friends. I wanted you to go ahead and talk about Lolita, before we get there, because I feel like sometimes we don't do enough celebrating of the people, and we get real sad, and we need to start to look at it more as a celebration than the sadness. And so we're going into the living room in a few minutes. We're going to be talking about friends, and so I want to talk about the upside. Even if you talk about Lolita, she was a cousin, but then she was also a friend. So we talk about the good. And I am having some difficulty opening up stuff on my computer. I always try to prepare something, but as it always happens, some crazy stuff happens. So what I'm going to do is I am going to abort from trying to do any more stories so that we can get into the living room and get on out of y'all. Okay?
Yeah.
So any other things anybody had to say on anybody who's spiking some tea before we get out?
No.
I wanted to say one quick thing with the new news of Brandy possibly having a seizure a few days due to after about
you said Brandy?
Brandy, yeah.
Oh,
who had a fever?
Okay.
Yeah, a seizure.
Seizure, but it could be. I think she said something about poor health and dehydration. So more so than just a seizure, but I think it was a few days after the bit with Ray J and the alleged, suspicion about
anxiety, yeah,
and stuff.
Right.
talks about
Okay.
suicide. So.
Let's send prayers for Brandy.
Yeah.
You know, that she'll be okay, and you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the whole family
I
was
have
okay. Both of those two. The
I
duo.
have come to respect her acting so much in the later years here.
Yeah.
Because like when I was watching Star,
Mm-hmm.
she had played a character. I had seen her in different things over the years, but she played a character that was so different from the other ones. I said, this girl's got some really great potential. When you make me forget who you are, and that's what she did. I said, this girl, she can do this thing for real.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, we're going to send the condolences out to not only the star but the fans. Angela Lansbury, star of TV, film, and theater. She died at age 96, and now you all know Murder She Wrote and all those from the
Yeah.
earlier days. And you know, she was great on that show, and so many people watched and supported that show. And
That was
so,
the only thing we had to watch when we were little. Murder She Wrote.
yes, yes. And she died in her sleep on Tuesday. She was just 5 days from her 97th birthday. You know, so she is missed, and she did a lot of great work, and you know, because she's on to her next journey, you
Yeah.
know, as we are now too. So let's go ahead and get out of this tea. I'll see y'all on the other side in the living room. Hey, hey, welcome back. Can y'all hear me? Hopefully you can, because
Oh
I
yeah.
had a lot going on between over here, and I was like, okay, this one went completely out. Well, this happened. I don't know what's happening over here, but I'm glad I'm back in. So y'all, welcome to the living room.
Hey,
You know, tonight, let's see if I could do this, if I could play this, because I haven't been able to upload anything properly. But let's see. Wait a minute.
Friends, how many of us have them? Friends.
Okay, that's all I can do. That's all I can do.
still good. Still good.
8 seconds. Yep. So I ain't in trouble.
Right.
But that is tonight's title. In the living room, friends. How many of us have them? And I had the little flash of Houdini up there. I started to shave it and take it off, but I said no. I wanted people to see that too. You know, I want people to see that that was the full group of who did the song back in the day. Some people may not know it or remember it or whatever, but that was Houdini. But you know, this particular title I came up with. I was on the phone the other day with Veronica, but it was in the back of my mind where I wanted to talk about friendships and all and see what people really feel. Because you know, tonight we'll talk about the different types of friends. We'll talk about what it means to be a friend, because I think somewhere along the lines, some people forget about that, what it means to be a friend.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's interesting to talk about. Now my other technology is out over here, but y'all can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I want to do as I start into this? I said, let me just give a quick definition of what we're talking about. To be a real friend, um, things that it takes, like trust, and being a real friend. But matter of fact, I won't get into that because that's a part of the 5 requirements of a strong friendship. I'll say that for a moment, but I'm gonna just ask you all first before we get into the different definitions of the types of friendships and the things that are meaningful in the friendship. What does friendship mean to you? That's what I want to know first. Marco, go! I see you live there. So, what does it mean to you?
Yeah. Friendship. Oh my God, there's so much that goes into it, but there's
Mhm.
very few that amount to that status, especially I guess in my circle, because I know before we've kind of mentioned it, but I think my circle is even smaller. It's a dot. It's a period. So friends to me is kind of like a marriage, a lifelong partnership when you find the right people that
Mhm.
um grow with you, vibe with you, change and develop, and you kind of learn about each other over time because you're
Right.
always not always on the same level or page per
Mhm.
se all 100% of the time, but most of the time, or your thinking patterns and stuff like that um connect. But it's kind of hard because nowadays people's term of friendship to me doesn't seem like friendship. I think with me and my thinking, because I've known and I've grown from before I was like in middle school to now, or high school to now in
Mhm.
adulthood, and that friendship has been there.
Right.
That's very rare. And
Right.
so trust and communication and you know knowing when to call each other up and just check on each other and stuff of that nature is what is friendship to me. uh,
Right.
I can share with you a part of me that I don't mind being out there and put out there because I trust that you're not going to go, you know, do me
Right.
dirty or tarnish my name or spread all that. You know what I mean?
Mhm. I got you. 100%. 100%. Michael, I jumped over you, but I'm coming back to you, and I want to know, what do you feel is a real friend?
Well, I put it in the private chat. I was writing a paper last week
Mm.
for because I started my master's, but they uh, they asked us to write a paper on our core beliefs, uh, and basically it was like, what are your core beliefs and why? So I did an essay on it, and I created a formula. Uh, my master's program is for transformational leadership,
Right.
and you can use that in both your personal and professional lives, right? So I created a formula, and it's T squared, L squared, C squared. So
Uh-huh.
T squared plus L squared plus C squared equals TL, squared.
Mhm.
Transformational leadership, transformational living. You know,
Okay.
and that pretty much brings you out to R squared, right? Which is respecting the relationship. And I'm finna make all that shit make sense. So
Okay.
trust and truth.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Trust and truth. That pretty much equals, if you want to get down to it. Um, and Bridget actually helped me find a better word for it. Is transparency, right? Trust and
Mhm.
truth, transparency, right? So uh, You know, trust and truth. She was just speaking on it. You know what I'm saying? You know, in order to have trust, you know what I'm saying, the motherfucker need to be honest with you, transparent with you. You know what I'm saying? Like she said, open up, you know, tell it all, you know what I'm saying, knowing that you're not finna go and spread business, tell lies, bullshit me, lie to me, and all the rest of this shit, or however you want to call it, right? Trust and truth, right? And then love and loyalty, right? Love and loyalty. A lot of people ask that question, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, Lee Coleman actually did a post on this one talking about, can you have love without loyalty or loyalty without love? You know what I'm saying? My thought is they're synonymous. You can't have one without the other. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we know definition of loyalty. You got complete loyalty. You got loyalty within the relationship. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we always talked about the Greek philosophy of 7 different types of love, self-love, eros, you know, that relationship love and the agape love is 7 of them total. You can go look it up. And then compassion and commitment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Compassion and commitment. We all know what compassion means. You know what I'm saying? Compassion is having that almost kind of being like empathy, sympathy, and all of that to play in there. And then commitment. Once you have trust, truth, love, and loyalty and compassion, you got to be committed to seeing that shit through. You know what I'm saying? From the time you start and the time you going forward. I always say I'm the type of friend that's gonna last a lifetime, and the only thing that's gonna fuck that up is you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and the reason I'm so passionate, you know, when it comes to relationships, friendships, love type relationship, situationship, you know, whatever, you know what I mean? Like vacation trip. Now I'm just fucking with y'all now. But anyway, when you add all that shit together, man, like the only thing that can mess that up is you. And I think I don't want to jump the gun, but I was just like, I think when a friendship goes awry, they're missing one of those key 6.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where the respect in the relationship ain't there because something out of that formula is missing. I'll stop.
That's a good one. Veronica, what does it mean to you before I give my little?
Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Alma.
Okay,
Check your battery.
I'm sorry. Everything that Mike said and that one word confidant, that person that you can confide in, that one person that you can, you know, just go and talk to when there's nobody else there. That one person that if you need them, they're there. Or, you know, if they need you, you're there for them. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just the formula that he put out there. And I like that, Mike. I really do like that formula. Loyal. Just being loyal, you know, that confidant person, you know.
Yeah.
Is, you know, it's there, you know. When you can't trust nobody else but that one person, you know, maybe 2 people or whatever, you know, but just trust and loyalty and obey, you know, being obedient. Being very obedient.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for myself, I'm disappointed right now. And I think that's why this came to me, is that I am disappointed about friendships. I always felt like the older that I would get, the more it would come into more real. And I've been seeing some other things that are just very disappointing. I guess I'm disappointed because when things happen, like with my friends, I'm gonna give an example. Someone has something great going on, I cheer for them.
Right.
And even if somewhere in there, even if I feel a little left out or left behind, I still cheer for them because their walk is not my walk.
Well,
what they have for them is not for me. And so I could
yes.
cheer for them on their thing.
Yes.
And the same thing, you know, when I'm loyal and I'm loyal to a fault, but what I have noticed, I'm not getting the reciprocity. And I've had some real key friendships that have been for years that have really disappointed me here lately. And you have to do some soul searching and you say, what part did I play in it? Because you have to look and see, what happened there too. And I'm just disappointed because it reminds me of when I lived in Austin. People always got used to seeing me on TV, on camera. And it was always like they thought that that was my whole life. And I ran with a lot of folks that I knew a lot of folks. But I not having cameras on now all the time and all, I feel like
Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
I think her phone or something.
Is it back?
Yeah.
Okay, it does that. It just goes out sometimes. So I'm sorry. But when things changed and I wasn't on TV all the time, I noticed that friends changed too. So I had to change with the whole life and everything too. And so I felt like I was getting out to my core of people who like me for me. But I'm saying right this moment, it looks like I'm going through a transition where God is cleaning house. And I'm like, are we doing this one again, now? We've been here before. I'm like, how many times we gonna do this? But I am here now to where I'm looking at some of my key friendships that I had for years that may not be there anymore. I don't know. And that's some type of adjustment that I have to see and I have to deal with. And then I have had, friends pass and things like that just were disappointing. And so I am in an adjustment time, but I'm still soul searching at the same time because I still want to be that good friend. But you ever had it to where you felt like you're getting burned and then you start to withdraw to a point where you're not sure that you're being the best friend that you know how to be because that burning that you've had so many times, you don't want to walk out there.
Well, I don't feel like that. I ain't gonna say that. Like, I don't feel like I ain't being the best friend I know how to be. Because I only know how to only be one way, and that's me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of motherfuckers get mad at you, want to say you acting funny. Nah, nigga, I ain't acting funny. You acting funny. I'm gonna be me, and I ain't changed. I ain't changed for nothing. The only change I had is self growth. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna change who I am because you going through something, or you feeling some type of way, or a motherfucker done got in your head.
You are acting funny, Michael. I don't know what you're talking about. You are acting funny. It's not acting. You are acting funny.
Acting funny.
Hey, I tell you what, if my growth makes you think I'm acting funny, fuck you. And I ain't talking to you. I'm talking about the world. I mean, that goes for I'm talking to Texas when I say that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but for real. So what I was getting ready to say, man, when you think about this, when people say, "Oh, that's my friend," I tell you right now, I learned that lesson a long time ago, and now the term friend is reserved for those who earn it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's for those who earn it, and you gotta go through some shit with some people before you just sit there and call them your friend, or they your associate. You know what I'm saying? Your peer. You know what I'm saying? Somebody you just holler at and fuck with it now and then. But friend, that's reserved for motherfuckers who earn it. And how do they earn it? Trust in the formula, right? But I have to feel like I could be totally vulnerable with that person, and like she was saying, knowing that me sharing my vulnerability ain't gonna come back to bite me in the ass.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's what was lacking for me. I had to realize.
When you around somebody, do you feel like you can be totally open and transparent, or are you guarded? Or are you saying, I gotta watch this?
Can you?
That's what happened.
Self cannot divulge this because this is something I need to get off my chest. But like, can I be myself with you? Do I know that you'll have my back in a sense of promote and push me and encourage me to be my best self? With all the information and stuff that I shared with you as well.
If I were you,
I feel like that's what happened with me with one of the persons that I considered a best friend, almost like a relative. And, I felt like at one time I could tell her anything, but then in a moment, as time went on, I started seeing what everybody else was saying because everybody else was telling me that this person wasn't my friend. But I was like, no, making excuses. She's just this way. She's just that way. And as time went on and I allowed it to happen, I saw what individuals were saying. And then I started feeling like everything was open ended that I said, there was nothing that I said that I wasn't sure wasn't going out the other end to somebody else. And so that made it really hard again on the trust issues with friendships, So, and then recently I just had a friend. I think the biggest thing is when someone sees you struggling. Okay, let me get y'all's opinion on this one.
Yes.
If someone sees you struggling, as in you, not me, they see you struggling, but yet they still partying all around you. How do you feel? Do you feel like they don't see you?
Nah, I'll say this. Militarily is a little bit different because when you going through something and you down and out in the dumps, militarily was like, well, we ain't finna let this motherfucker sit here by itself. You know what I'm saying? And, they got access to guns and this, that, and the other, whatever. Militarily, hey man, we finna go party, get your ass up. Let's go. We finna turn up. Even though you ain't, in the mood, they're gonna drag your ass out anyway. And that's to get you up out that hole. That's to get you up out that darkness. Motherfuckers sitting in the house with the curtains shit shut and all, then now get your ass up. And I know when I was going through something, when I was depressed and I was sinking down in that hole, just somebody's present at the crib. Like when I tell y'all, man, one of my partners flew down. You know what I'm saying? He said, hey, you don't sound right. I'm coming down there. He flew from Virginia all the way to Mississippi, come holler at me. You know what I'm saying? Stayed with me for about a week. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That presence, him being silly and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, I ain't trying to hear all that shit, but it mattered. After I got out of it, I was appreciative. I'm still appreciative for that fact because the decision I was getting ready to make wasn't a good one. So,
right. But I'm going to take your scenario there. I'm going to take your scenario and say, at least they included you in. I'm talking about the type of person that says, I'm partying. How you doing? Oh, you doing okay? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, well, I'm going to party. They still moving.
Yeah. So I was getting ready to go.
There.
I was getting ready to go to the second half. I guess I should have went. I should have told the first one. But initially, I had a whole bunch of motherfuckers. Long as I was barbecuing and partying, after my separation, divorce, you know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to come through and party. Oh, nigga, we finna. Oh, my bad. We finna turn up. You know what I'm saying? But I was depressed and I was heartbroken. I was jacked up. You know what I'm saying? That's a bot in that chat. That's a bot. If you blocked them, they came back in somehow, but that's a bot. Anyway.
Okay.
But
thank you.
It's people that kept on moving and act like you wasn't there. And you saying, motherfucker, y'all don't feel and see my pain. Ain't nobody gonna ask me how I'm doing. Y'all ain't gonna ask me if I'm all right. You ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? Hey man, it's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna keep strolling like, hey, y'all get the fuck out of my house. Like
but I think with that you had to understand too where those people are at, and some people don't key into that if their hearts and their minds aren't connected to pick up on it. They might not even know how fully to respond, but those that have that emotional maturity to see it when it's not, certain people can see it without you saying anything about it, or even trying to mask it, they can see it. So those that really take the time to pull you to the side and ask you, like, no, for real, like, how you doing? Like, I know that shit ain't easy. So when they, give you that attention, or at least that time, or don't even say nothing to you, but just be there with you, like you said, those are the real ones you do want to keep around.
So what they call that emotional intelligence.
Let me see if I can refresh this page. Right. If it drops me, I'll be right back. Okay, well, y'all keep talking.
Yeah, but they call that emotional intelligence.
You ain't got to say.
You know what I'm saying? You got to know how to read people, read the room, and all that. But what I was getting ready to say was, energy.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. A lot of it depending, you know, we are black, so not saying that it's just that, but let me rephrase. I was gonna say a lot of black people don't know how to deal, process, or handle, or explain, or project their emotions, thoughts, and feelings. You know what I'm saying? So they don't know that. You got to think about it. Think about the average black household.
Yeah.
When somebody's sad and depressed, first thing motherfuckers do, they start cooking. They have food, music, drink, and barbecue, and it turns into this is how we're gonna get out of this. Not knowing that, man, it could be deeper than that. So a lot of people, I'm not making an excuse, I'm just saying a lot of people don't know how to handle that, and that's not just with black people. I mean, now we starting to see that it's wide. A lot of folks don't get that. They don't get that. They don't get raised like that. You know, you get put in a woman box or a man box, and we act accordingly. You know, based off how we raised. It's just now with mental health and all the rest of that stuff that people are starting to kind of come forward with, expressing themselves, opening themselves up, and then trying to process and share and deal with and handle emotion. So they might not have been educated on that, you know. And I'm gonna keep it short and pass the mic back here in a minute. So Tanya, when you said what the hell you said? You said a lot.
Well, I'll tell you this. This was the thing that is annoying to me with you know, friends when they do things like this. They're like, "How you doing? How you been doing?" And it doesn't matter what you say. You could say, you know, I think my heart just fell out on the ground and I'm scooping it up and putting it back in my chest. And it doesn't matter what you say. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, you know what? I'm going to be in Italy all next week and everything. I'll see you later." You know, that's the type of phoniness that I've been noticing. And that's the type of people that I no longer want to deal with.
So that's called
dead energy.
It's what you want from them is active, constructive responding. Right. So you know, when it comes to that, it's like 4 different types, right? And this goes back to I want to credit the people. The Rand Corporation did the whole resiliency thing, and one of those things was active, constructive responding and good listening. So good listening, you listening, and then you're supposed to. The idea is to get to a point to where you can do active, constructive responding, where you're listening, you're engaging, you're asking those questions, and you're actually sticking to the content, versus dismissing somebody totally, one-upping them. Hey, you know, man, I'm going through it. Well, that ain't nothing. I went through it worse than that. So you're trying to like one-up me. I don't need you to one-up me, man. I just need you to listen. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the ones where motherfuckers just, you know, they trying to multitask and they not giving you their undivided attention.
Right.
You know what I mean? But what you said as far as being reciprocated in the thing, Tom actually taught me this when we was in Korea, because I was getting mad that I'm so loyal and so trusting and loving and all of that shit. And I would get mad when motherfucker, you know, fucked over me or didn't, you know, bring that same energy back. He said, "That's your own fault. That's a you problem. That ain't their problem." And I was like, "What the fuck you mean?" I was kind of mad at, you know, Tom. What the hell you mean? I'm feeling like this. You gonna tell me it's my fault? What he said was, you know, and you know, me and Tom similar in thought and actions and stuff. So it's like, you know, we built different. You know, we come from a different era, a different time where we you know, we cherished friendship, relationship, you know, and that shit means something to us. He said, "You're expecting them to know what you want from them. Closed mouths don't get fed, number one. Number two, you're expecting something. The fact that you're expecting them to do something, right? Because with expectation comes, you know what I'm saying, you know, you get your feelings hurt because you expecting motherfuckers to do something that they didn't ask you to be loyal to them. You volunteered their loyalty, and now you want them to do it back. What if that wasn't part of their agreement?"
And that's where it is, right there. You hit the nail on the head. What I have had to do is make a decision,
right?
That person or that individual or that friendship is not what I thought it was, and stop thinking that it is, and stop waiting for it to be that.
And
Yep.
that's the thing too, is that those are friends you chose, or those are people that you chose to give that title to, that you might should have developed a longer list of requirements in order to get that title. So
Right.
it's like
And sometimes I did it based on longevity, and that was not the way to do it.
true.
And
You
then
can know a
some,
person for 100 years, but they could still not be a good friend.
and then we turned a blind eye to it. I did that. I had a friend for like 20 some odd years. And I started seeing little shits here and there, and I refused to accept it, refused to believe it. No, not my shit. I don't no slip there. Not my ninja dog. You know, like no, not like that. And then, you know, and it's just like somebody else was like, "Hey man, I've been noticing this," and I'm like, "No." Somebody else said, "No." You know what I'm saying? We step out, you know, and then we do a little test or two to kind of shit. It is what it is, man. Like fuck. But you know what? I'm at that point. That ain't how I operate, man. And if
Right.
you don't move like I move, just like that, right?
Right.
You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
I gotta holler at you, man.
Have you noticed that what you had to do was just say that you could not be afraid to let go?
Right. And my mama told me that. She said, baby, sometimes you just grow, you know, you grow past shit. You know, sometimes you grow, you know, you just, you know, when you're traveling your journey and you decide to grow, you can't like motherfucker don't want to come with you. Don't hold on to them. Let them go.
Right.
Right.
And that's what it was. And she said it ain't gotta be no animosity or nothing. You just moving different, and they not moving with you. You
And
know.
it's always stuff to where, it might take them some time to grow in that area, and then you might run into each other, because some people, sometimes it just takes like, and then it's like some people pick up where they left off. It just depends on like you said, how true or how, um, you
Yeah.
know,
'Cause, you have those friends that you don't see for
longevity.
years, but you
Yeah,
can pick
not
right up.
just to say not just longevity, because like you said, it needs to be more entailing into that friendship and that connection than just longevity. But
Right.
yeah, it everybody's learning at different stages, and in their life in different places. But
Right.
it's like, for the most part, you got to give them that space. Like you said, if you're not moving in that direction or doing those types of things, and it start to become a little bit of like bumping heads, then it's like,
Gotta know when to say.
step back.
Yeah.
Say so. Put it like this though. I think I got a couple of points here. Number one, I always heard, we was always told as kids, if you and your friends don't fight, y'all ain't friends. Because you got a
I
motherfucker
get
that's
that.
always trying to
Yeah,
play it
because
safe.
you're not gonna
Right.
always
It's not
be.
real
Right.
Yeah, you're
You
you're
know what I
gonna
mean?
have some friction. You're gonna have some friction. Like,
Right.
Unless you
you
have
know,
fight, it's not
yeah,
real.
me and my best friend have friction from time to time on certain things. I'm like, I don't see it the way you do, even when we have certain little debates or conversations. It's like, I don't quite see it like that, but this is my standpoint. So we kind of give each other that space to share our thoughts on certain topics and things, and we don't have to agree, but I at least get to see, where her mind is at with her thought process. And I don't automatically be like, okay, well, you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. Or the same thing with me. She's like, you know what? I didn't think of it that way. So, it opens that up,
Mm-hmm.
understanding up about, different
And
things.
before I go into this article, Michael, you had a second point that you were making.
I did, but I was trying to keep it going in my brain, but trying to listen and trying to think.
It fell off.
It ain't here no more. I can tell you that. Like, if it come back,
If it comes back,
yeah.
just let me know. Speaking of which, in the chat, I could not block that user that bought this time. I put it on timeout, so I might have to keep putting it on timeout or something, and then go in later on and delete them in my real files. I can do it later on. But Veronica, we're gonna pull Veronica in a few minutes. I know Veronica's somber tonight, but we're gonna bring her in on a few things. I wanted to talk about this because this article feeds right into what we were sharing. It's the 5 requirements for a strong friendship. And the number one was trust. Being able to have trust and confidence in your friend is one of the most important requirements of a strong relationship, because true friendship means that you're able to count on one another. Part of caring for a friend is honoring what they tell you, like Margo was saying, no matter the significance, with confidentiality and respect. A true friend should never laugh or mock, but listen with open ears and offer advice if asked. An example of having a trustworthy friend is being able to talk to them about a personal issue you're facing, knowing that what you said will stay between you two, the two of you, and they will not judge you or the circumstance. That's what you all were saying earlier. So fits right in. You shouldn't feel that somebody is laughing at you because of something going on, and when you do, that really does feel like it's not a friend. Let's go on to the next one, and then we can, see what you all feel. Number 2 is equality. Equality is another super important ingredient in healthy relationships and healthy friendships that often gets overlooked when one friend seems to have more to say than the other. For example, just because one friend is assertive doesn't mean they should dominate all the decision making in a friendship. Likewise, a friend that is naturally timid should not challenge themselves to speak up about the things they are interested in doing.
You went mute.
It
You
went.
went mute. You went mute.
Okay. Am I back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Likewise, a friend that is naturally timid should challenge themselves to speak up about things that they're interested in doing, like seeing a certain movie or eating somewhere new, without worrying about being overruled. In healthy friendships, both friends should be able to make decisions together and compromise without being shut down.
Right.
So what I was gonna say, I figured it out. It came back. Let me get it out before I forget. And we was talking about holding on to them long term, them friendships from years and years and years of being knowing each other.
Right.
Think about if you had that type of friendship and then move that over to a relationship, and people be like, "Well, what you staying for in a relationship?" Right? And they be like, "What you staying for?" If you seen your partner stay friends with somebody that they know they probably should have let go a long time ago, that's their character. That's in them to stick it out, to ride it out, or to be blind to the fact. So when you be like, he or she stupid for staying so long, or what you staying so long for, that's them. They loving or they caring or they whatever. All
Right.
Yeah.
I have done that with.
They own understanding about whatever situation, even
Mhm.
if
yeah.
it's a long
I have
period.
done that with male and female, because I have noticed, like, the female, different people came and told me, 4 different people told me she was dragging me. And I was just like, well, she da. And what I had to decide, and this was a really big year for me in these decisions, to say, if it looks like a goose, then it's a goose. Everybody ain't your friend, and sometimes you gotta let go. And this was that time, that year. And I think it was because of looking at the things that were happening in my life. And I said, life is here today, gone tomorrow. Why should you be here today thinking that someone is really true? Don't waste your time. And I think that's how I got there. It wasn't easy to get there, but I think that's how I got there, looking at life in that manner. Rock, you with us?
Yeah. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's okay. It's okay. We understand.
Yeah.
I just, with that one, with the relationship thing, I had to think about that because now when it's stated, it's two. It's just like when it's put it in, for instance, when it was a friendship into a marriage, into a divorce, and like how do not necessarily just co-parent, but you still kind of keep a level of small level of communication, as well as some type of friendship or something like that, just in order to continue to be okay with it. Not necessarily a full-fledged friendship. How much dirt was done, but yeah, it's like each person has their own understanding of the whole situation and know where to place that at, even if it has been a relationship, a close relationship. Because you kind of compartmentalize it. Like we ain't here no more because but we just operating out of okay. We okay.
Yeah, because you broke that bond. You broke that bond with that person, especially if you friends first, then you break a bond with them. That friendship is gone.
Well, hold on.
It's gone.
I had a good partner of mine. We done reconciled now. That's why I said I'm just saying. Hold on, but birds of a feather flock together, and you can be so much alike that both of y'all end up doing the same shit from a misunderstanding, but either pride or something got in the way at some point. So me and my partner was cool as a fan. I watched his kids, he watched my kids. We was running the streets together. I leave it at that. No, you know what I'm saying? And we was both struggling at one time, and we got out on the ground and made shit work for the kids and for the folks in our crew.
Right.
And we had an incident take place, and once somebody checked one person, the other person didn't feel like they should be checked, and shit just got distorted after that. 6 or 7 years went by. Wow. And life starts happening, and it's like, man, in this moment that I'm going through now, I could always depend on this individual. So we end up getting in contact with each other and hashing out the shit. And when we start talking about why we fell back, that's what we do, man. Look, motherfucker move different. I ain't finna argue with you. I'm gonna just fall back. Right. And realize he fell back because he thought that I violated. I fell back because I thought he violated. We never really talked about it. We just gave each other space. And then 7 years later, when life is happening, people dying, and you figuring out, man, let me square this shit up. Yeah. And we squared it up. We talked for about 3-4 hours, and then realized we fell out over nothing. And then now we make that effort to rekindle, because it ain't never been lost. It's just, I ain't fucking with him. He ain't fucking with me. I ain't fucking with him. I give him space. I know how that motherfucker is. Hey, I know how that motherfucker is. And so when we start talking, it's like we had never fell out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
and then you might even find out why was we not even understanding each other. Or what
we was on some Claude Ray shit.
It was like, okay, we spent too much time in our own brains making up our own stories of the whole situation.
So and the lesson learned from that, man, because I'm quick. Like when I feel like energy off between me and somebody, I'll be like, did I do something to you? You mad at me or something? And that's how I do it, right? Because I try to bring it like, and either one or two things. They gonna be like, hell yeah, I'm mad at you, or they gonna be like, no, why? What's up? Did I do something? I say something, and then you know where you stand. But in that case, it didn't happen. It was just like, the things we was going through. On top of that, it was just like, man, I'm gonna just back up, and then we backed up, and 7 years passed, and so we were able to rekindle it. That might not be everybody's situation though, because depending on the violation, some shit is unforgivable. Yeah. Well, you can forgive, but it's one of those things that, like she said, depending on what you do, that shit over. I'll speak to you. I'll keep my Christianity.
You can be cordial.
Because my mama and them raised me right. I'll say, hello, how you doing? But that's about it.
I love you to a point where I ain't gonna totally disrespect you like I would some random motherfucker on the street, but I just feed you with a long spoon. You know what I'm saying?
Remember I tell you about the girl who had my car reported and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah,
it was never
that was never your friend. I just
it was never my friend.
The stories you tell me, I'm like, Lord, this Please help.
I thought it was, and then I found out it wasn't. But the one thing is, when she came back and she apologized, it was just never the same. It was just natural that it never bounced back for me because it was just natural. I can't trust you, and then, it just had to be
Like,
over.
I accept your apology, but that's about it. Like, I
Right.
hope that you processing it and you healing and you forgiven and you can go on.
Mhm.
And now I go on, and so much time has passed, but it's nothing. It
Nothing we can do.
it just changes after that.
Right. There's nothing we can do.
Some of them can stick it out, and some of them, you
Mhm.
just can't. That's how it happens.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It's
You
a
know what? I'm gonna go back and
my question to all that was, y'all talking about like same sex. I'm talking about, can a man and a woman be that close? Can they
Oh,
have
I'm
that?
not talking about
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same
we talking
thing.
about
Yeah,
all the world.
hell yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
a man and a woman, yeah.
Yeah.
Breaking that
Matter of fact,
bond.
let me get to this next. Let me get to this next one that
I
talks about
know where she's coming
compassion.
from. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
let,
ahead.
let me get to this next one on compassion, because so we can get deeper
And
into
I ain't
that
even
too.
read that article, and I came up with that formula on my own. Everything you're saying is in my formula.
There you go. Okay, number 3 is compassion. Having compassion is when you are able to be empathetic and genuinely there for your friends on a daily basis and during times of need. Having compassion and empathy is a requirement for a healthy friendship because it's important to have friends that you can count on to be there for you. An example of what compassionate friend could look like is if your dog died and your friend came to your side to listen to how you felt in that moment of grief. In this scenario, the friend was compassionate about being present and listening to your situation and supportive by being there for you. And before I go out of this, let's hit honesty. Honesty is a requirement for a strong, successful friendship because at the end of the day, people usually will be more hurt when the truth is concealed than by the truth itself, whatever it may be. Whether it is lying about a simple thing, like whether or not you like your friend's outfit, or something more significant, being dishonest eats away at the foundation of the healthy friendship. Even though being honest may mean having more difficult conversations with your friend, it will make a stronger and better friendship. Okay.
Truth, trust, love, loyalty, compassion, and just hit
Still
that
on.
all on the head, baby.
Still on.
I'm finna publish my shit. That's what I'm finna
Oh,
do.
There you go.
I just say with that too, the type of friendship that I do have, like me and my friend, we do charge each other to still tell each other what's the right thing to do, even if one of us wants to do the wrong thing, because whether in anger or just in whatever choice we decide to make, still like, no, you shouldn't do that because blah 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 blah. And we hold each other accountable. You know,
Right.
even if it's something tough or hard to speak on or to say, but it'd be like, you right. Shouldn't slap her because I want to hit her so bad because
right.
Let me run this by y'all. And I know a lot of it is when you little, but it's happened as adults too. So let's just say Tanya and Margo friends, and then they say, "Oh, that's my best friend." And I seen this at a very early age because I paid attention to it. It just confused the shit out of me all my life. Tanya says that Margo's her best friend, but Margo's best friend is somebody else. And that's how fucking rumors get started because Tanya tell Margo something. That's my best friend. I could tell her that. Then Margo like, oh, damn. But Margo's best friend is girl X. So then Margo go and tell girl X, girl, you can't say nothing because, I'm only telling you this because you my best friend. And then girl X best friend is girl Z, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
it just depends on the type of female. But I just would think that, if you're close on your friends, you're not gonna be like, well, you just my friend and like you can't have other friends you speak to or talk to. But I would hope that the information that we share with each other or that I share with you It's just between us, not between, what you and whomever speak on. That's what y'all do at that moment when y'all together about y'all situation or how y'all became friends or are friends or whatever y'all do
That's
together when y'all chilling. But
I
Let
was
me say something about that because
there are some messy people, so
what
that's
I tell
you
look.
know,
saying.
I share shit that I don't mind traveling the world because you say because the shit getting out. I don't give a fuck what you say.
You back it up, like,
The
yeah.
shit getting out.
well, check this out, and I hope I'm not going to lose power on this phone. If not, I'm going to be screwed because I didn't plug it in time. Here's the deal. What I feel too, what Michael was saying. Margot may be my best friend, and then she may have another person as best friend. I have been in that situation because I have one of my friends. I had this conversation years ago, and I think what I said it best at that time still relates. That might be the best friend that I have at the moment, but it doesn't always mean that that's my best friend. Like, those things falling, like BFF for life. It still doesn't necessarily have to mean that. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have encountered because people have different levels on the friendship thing.
Yeah.
And what I have discovered is that sometimes that was just the best friend that I had at that time, but it did not mean that that was a best friend for life. You know what? I got a lot of mechanics going on over here because I'm trying to keep a phone plug. I did not set it all up tonight the right way, so I'm kind of screwed on that. But I'm gonna do this last point, and then I want to quickly touch upon what Veronica was talking about just now, and we'll take that subject as we ride out of the living room. Okay.
Yeah.
This last point that I want to make here is independence. Now, they say independence in a successful friendship, it is always important to be independent of your friend and allow your friend to have their personal space as well. It is never healthy to always need the company of your friend and their constant attention. You should both have other friends and hobbies besides each other. In getting upset when you are not your friend's only friend is a sign that independence is needed. If you and your friend have trust, equality, compassion, honesty, and independence, you already have the foundation of a strong and healthy friendship. Even though it can be hard to recognize when a friendship is weak in some areas, it is always possible to improve yourself and your relationship with your friend. All you need is willingness to do and be better. Okay. But, I want to say this. I like that article because it did bring a lot of things together. And again, that article gives credit to joinonelove.org. Um, Something that Veronica mentioned a while ago, and I kind of felt like I knew where she's going about male-female relationships. Let's say, for instance, it's friends that become closer, intimate friends, and then they back to the friend zone again. How is that possible to do all that? Is it possible for you? And what is the new criteria going back in the door after that?
Ah, I don't know, but I mean, if you are the basis of a relationship is friendship first, right?
Yeah.
So that's a area or a period of time, and once you get closer, and if y'all get intimate, if nothing hasn't been discussed to change it into something more permanent, then that's on both parties or even one party that have not disclosed or given that information or that criteria or a notice of, hey, I'm really liking what we having. Can we see where this goes? Or, you know,
So you feel time can heal that if it's meant to
time
be.
and constant conversation, because it
Okay.
sounds like there's a lot of unspoken what's the word? Because I heard somebody mention it today, but it's like unspoken expectations of what can transpire or what you want to happen in that friendship over time, you know.
Okay. Rock, you have a piece that you want to say in
What
on
if
that?
what if
Or?
age is a factor? What if
Uh,
age is a factor?
y'all know that going into it. Talking about age. Was age a factor in the bedroom? I mean, I ain't trying to be.
Wait a minute, let me get back. Let me get
Dr.
back to
Margo done
you.
popped up.
Y'all didn't see no age and no numbers above y'all heads to the midst of being in that bed.
Dr. Margo McGraw done popped up. What's Dr. Phil's wife name again?
No, sorry. It went on
Marge.
age. As long as y'all both
That
legal.
ain't Margie. Marge. I don't know. I forgot what her name was. No. What was Dr. Phil's wife's name?
But I don't know.
Margaret. It's Margaret.
Because ain't nobody thinking about no age when you. Well, long as you're of age, legal
Right.
age, to be considered as an adult, to be partaking in adult activities. Activities.
What's that? What's the activity?
Where you at, Mike?
She asked, could age be a factor concerning?
Well, if you're talking about the adult activity I'm talking about, then yes, age could be a factor.
No, but not a factor of.
You said age,
friendship,
right?
being in friendship
Age
with that person.
Oh, I thought you said age. I was gonna say yeah.
Hey,
Age
I
could be
did.
a factor.
I mean,
age.
what
Oh.
age is a factor of the
Golly. Okay.
All right.
Mike is in something totally different. It's all right. It's all right.
next?
Not on that mind.
I just wanted to venture in and ask that quick
factor. I mean,
question. I personally feel like if time heals a lot of things, if they're meant to, still being around as a friend, because a lot of my exes are friends. A lot of guys that I've dated are, we're friends.
Yeah, and it took some time to get there because it's like,
yeah,
you be like,
well, yeah, because I guess I have one guy that I was dating. We're more like best friends now that we broke up. I mean, we just totally.
and
we're closer than we were when we was together.
Yeah, and that's sometimes how it works. You're better off being friends than in the actual relationship and being intimate and close like that.
That's true.
Like you're saying, you kind of compartmentalize certain people after time once you see their traits and their habits and their character. You know where to place them. At least when it's according to your life or what you want in your life, you learn where to put them. And how much time you're willing to give of yourself to be in their presence or spend time with them. Spend time just conversating with them over the phone. Some people be like, I can't do too much of you,
Right.
So,
Can't do too much of you. I understand that.
Oh, I sure can't do too much.
Right. Well, you know what, y'all? We're gonna come to a wrap here because we said that we're gonna get in, get out, and be shows now, and just because before we start going on for a while, what is going on with Mike's eyes?
Mike in them eyes. That's what's going on with Mike.
Mike a clown guy.
Yeah.
Mike is crazy. So as we head to this wrap here, what I'm hearing is that friends, we all have our friends, but friends change over time. When we're young, we might have a lot of friends. As we get older, we might see it go, to smaller, more defined. And then some people who you might have had friends when you're younger, you might find out later on that they were just associates. It's just different things that we come to learn when it comes to those 5 requirements and other characteristics in there too that come together to form a real friendship.
Yeah,
And what we
the experiences are different, and they didn't
Mhm.
grow like you grew. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Home
yeah,
life and all that stuff. Just,
Mhm.
But the one thing is too that I would hope that people would want friends that they can learn something from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Where they're
Yeah.
teaching each other,
I
like
do
a
have one friend. I
ping
do have.
pong game, back and forth. Learn something from you. Learn something, from
No.
Mhm.
I do have one friend. We have been friends since 1978.
Mhm.
Ooh,
Yes, and
Mhm.
when I first moved back to the United States, when I just left Germany, I didn't have no friends, and
Mhm.
we've been friends ever since then. And we don't talk every day, but when we do talk, it's like pick up right where we left off.
right.
Yeah.
And it's if I call her and I said, "Hey, I'm down in the dumps. I need to pick me up." Okay, what time I need to be ready? She's on her way to pick me up, and we
Right.
out of here. We're
Right.
there. We have our
Mhm.
conversations. Or vice versa. Come pick me up and we'll hang. Because right now I'm not driving, and so you can come pick me up and we out. That's just how we
Mhm.
do. Or she come over here and sit, or I go over there and sit.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Either way, or we on the
Yeah.
phone talking. But
I
that's
have a
one
friend
true
who's
friend I know
around.
I have.
Yeah, I have a friend who's around that same amount of time. But here's what happened with me. We were friends and all. We always known each other in our lives, and my mom talks to her a lot. But for a moment there, we weren't talking as much. We knew each other was there, and then she said to me about a month ago, you're running too much, and we need to talk more often. And she was right. So we have started to where we're trying to talk every week or every other week because I was doing badly. I can say on that, I was the one that was doing badly on that.
I can
And
do that.
we're digging back in.
At least once or
And
twice a week, I'll call her.
mhm. And sometimes you have to still renew that kind of, you can't take that friendship for granted. We both
Exactly.
had watched one another's lives and change, and she lost her sister, I lost my sister. We've watched one another's lives change. I've spoken about her before. Her nephew is the one that plays professional ball. He used to be with Washington Wizards, but now I think he's with LA or somebody now, I can't remember. But the thing is, she is, I watched her life transform through all of that. She's watched mine too. And I just said, be the friend that you want to have. And
Hmm.
so I'm trying to do better too and pick up the phone, call her, not take it for granted. So trying to do better. Shout out to Sharon. So,
Shout out to Debbie.
Shout out
okay.
to Shamika.
Yeah.
Because that's the friend that brings me
Right.
food. That's
Yeah,
the
Debbie
friend
brings me out too.
that,
I
that
tell you,
call
I
me up.
mean,
What you doing? I'm finna come over. Or let's go somewhere. Let's go eat. What you want to eat? Like, it's just certain,
Right.
you know.
yeah.
I like those friends that have it open, leave it open, and you do things
Yeah.
open ended when you go places, do stuff, and you
Debbie,
know,
I'm in need
pick
for
it
a
up.
tequila drink. Let's go. Where we going? What time you gonna
Yeah,
be here, girl? I'm ready.
right.
Yes, I gotta have it.
Well, I'm ready to end this segment. Any final thoughts before
No,
we are out
like
of
you said
here?
earlier, be the friend that you want to be,
That's
Right.
right.
and
yeah.
it should work out.
And remember them expectations of somebody else. If you ain't communicated them up front, you can't try to hold them to that because you are who you are. But I guarantee you didn't tell them what you was expecting from them. Y'all
Mhm.
just probably started chit chatting, talking, and hanging
Exactly.
out. And y'all was like, "Oh, this
Mhm.
person's solid." Uh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do your
Yeah.
background check. You know what I
There you
mean?
go. There you go.
Right.
Margo, any final?
Nah, go in it, be honest with each other, and just be your best self.
All right. I have grown up from friendship because I always thought that my associates were my best because those high school and college years can kind of fool you. I rolled with squads, girls, and we were all fool, But when it came to real life after that, I had to learn what real friendship is.
Yeah.
Right.
And
It's
I've
just
grown a lot.
the woman versus man relationships that kills me. I mean,
Those
I
are
could be
still
friends with a girl,
mystery.
I could be friends with a female, but when it comes down to a
Yeah,
man, it goes over the head and out the
yeah.
door.
I've always had a lot of male friends out of production, working production for a lot of years, but not ones that I always dated all the time. So it's still a learning experience, and I had to take those case by case.
Well, I got some that I
So,
haven't dated, but
right.
we'll talk about it in the after show.
There you go. All right, so let's get on out of here. Let me run this commercial. We'll be back to say our so longs in just a few moments. Here we go. Okay, I'm guessing we back. I've got a lot going on both sides here. But you know what, folks? It's time for us to get out of here. I'm going to ask you all real quickly. Y'all saw what I put in the private chat. Let's get out of this mug. So, real quickly, want to know what's popping off for you this week? Mike, it's on you, buddy.
I got a full schedule with courses and class. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, get my education on, man.
Okay.
Something serious. So I'll
Cool.
be that'll be my priorities, and you know, just chilling, maintaining, trying to, stay in my pop zone, my place of peace.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I know that's right.
Ain't too much of nothing. I'm just chilling.
We're good. Thanks for chilling with us tonight. Margo, go. What you got going over this week?
Well, as some may know or may have forgotten,
Oh,
into my birthday.
man, I'm so sorry. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I'll
I
be
thought about it before the show.
the ripe old age of 42.
You got your nerve.
40,
Right.
42. So just kicking it off since today, and we'll
Right.
be celebrating in the next couple of days, really the whole month, but
That's right.
been welcoming it in and taking it on and doing a couple of things here and there, trying to figure out what I really want to do.
Okay.
To really celebrate it on the actual day, but other than that, I've been shopping. So
Cool. Ain't nothing wrong with retail therapy.
I know that's right.
Well, you enjoy
shopping and
and
eating.
a major happy birthday from us.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Here
you.
they I am. I'm so crazy because I meant to put something up. I was going to put a happy birthday up, and I meant to upload it. So my apologies. Running in is crazy when I do things and I forget stuff because I actually downloaded something. So my crazy ass forgets it. So I'm sorry about that. Leave the girl.
All right.
All right, Ron.
I don't have a whole lot going on, but just try to keep my head above water, and and everything. But on that note, family, will y'all join me in singing happy birthday to Margo?
Yes.
It ain't her fucking birthday yet. She still got like 25 minutes.
Happy
Oh,
birthday to you.
No,
Come on,
no.
Mike. Happy birthday to you. Happy
Happy
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
thank you.
Happy birthday.
Oh, I get the extended version.
He went to the bridge and everything.
Yeah, it was an extended version. Thank
I
you.
know.
Thank you.
There you go, Veronica.
Thank you.
Hey.
Well, I hope you have
Happy
a
birthday,
wonderful
Margo.
birthday, Margo.
Thank you.
Real for real, you know. Real for real. I
Hey,
I can't really
make a wish.
I
Make a
don't
wish.
I dream of you, Margo.
He didn't see that. He didn't see that.
No, I don't think Mike felt it. Did you feel
He
it?
didn't feel it. Do it again. Oh, your head down.
Oh, the
Oh, your head
head.
down, Mike.
Okay, I got you.
Oh, your head down.
Cause that
She
motherfucker
said-
shining, ain't it?
Make that
She
wish.
gonna rub it for luck.
I was.
The
That
crystal ball.
motherfucker shining, ain't it? Y'all wish y'all wish y'all had that shine like me.
Well, y'all,
Moisturized scalp, boy. That's the most moisturized scalp out of there.
I know, right?
That ain't no dry scalp. Shit, girl.
I said most
Moisturize.
moisturized.
Oh, hell yeah.
Give me some of that oil.
Uh,
Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying?
well, y'all, let me get ready to run my spot here so we can get on now. You know, I'm totally committed to getting y'all in and out of here, and
Yes,
so
let's
I'm
do
trying to
this.
stay close to as much as I can. My week is just going to be another week of craziness. There's so much going on behind the scenes. There's so much I can't talk about with me. I'll talk soon. We'll talk soon. But a lot of things behind the scenes, and so I'm gonna try to drop some stuff later on if I hear stuff in advance enough to warn y'all. So I'm gonna try my best. All right, here we go for the show.
Hey, one more thing before we go. I just want to shout out.
We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Art Imitates Live with Tanya Dixon. So be sure to like and subscribe. And also check us out on all of our other social media. Okay, Rocky had a shout out.
Yeah, I just want to send prayers out to Raleigh, North Carolina, where the young 15-year-old boy shot them people.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I want to shout. I mean, I just want to pray for him and the families. You know, all the families, because this world is crazy.
Yeah, some super crazy things going on, and unfortunately,
You brother too?
we got about 6 months of crazy.
A 16-year-old.
Between now and March 2023, we got about 6 months to go. So I'll talk to y'all about it and try to, as the real stuff it's starting to speed up more. It's speeding up, and I'll try to give you some heads up before we like Timmy and fall down the rail. Okay, I'll try to give you more information. But thank y'all for being here tonight. Thank you, audience, for tuning in for Art Imitates Life. And as I always say in parting, good things come to those who, what is it? I say who believe.
Lord.
That's right.
Age done kicked in.
I know it just went off. Good things come to those who believe. Better things come to those who are patient. But the best things come to those who never give up. I'm Tanya Dixon. This is the Living Room Team. The ones right now. You all have a beautiful week, and we'll see you next time on Art Imitates Life. Y'all have a good one. See you now.